Hello everyone, now let us discuss about the autonomic control of heart. As we all know that the autonomic nervous system is broadly categorized into two types, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And especially the autonomic control of heart is mainly governed by, when it comes to sympathetic nervous system, it is mediated by alpha and beta adrenoreceptors. And when it comes to parasympathetic system, it is mainly mediated by the M2 muscarinic receptors. The cardiac effect of sympathetic nervous system is mainly mediated by alpha and beta adrenoreceptors, whereas the cardiac effect or the effect of parasympathetic nervous system on the cardiovascular system is mainly governed by M2 muscarinic receptors. Now, coming to the various sympathetic effects on the cardiovascular system. The sympathetic nervous system mainly contributes to positive ionotropic effect, which is nothing but increased force of contraction. It contributes to positive chronotropic effect, which is nothing but increased heart rate. It leads to increased automaticity, which is nothing but the tendency to generate ectopic beats. And it also leads to repolarization and restoration of function following the generalized cardiac depolarization. It also leads to reduced cardiac efficiency and cardiac hypertrophy. So, now coming to the various sympathetic effects on the cardiovascular system are, the first one is positive inotropic effect, the next is positive chronotropic effect, next is increased automaticity, the next one is repolarization and restoration of function following generalized cardiac depolarization. The next one is reduced cardiac efficiency. And finally, cardiac hypertrophy. These are the various effects of sympathetic nervous system on the cardiovascular system. In the current session, we will be discussing the mechanism of each effect. Now coming to how increased force of contraction is seen, or why sympathetic nervous system results in positive ionotropic effect. It mainly, as we have discussed, the sympathetic activity is mainly governed by alpha and beta adrenoreceptors. So by the activation of beta 1 adrenoreceptors, increase in force of contraction is seen. And the beta 1 adrenoreceptors, they mainly act by two mechanisms. The first one is activating adenyl cyclase. This phosphorylates the calcium channels and increases the calcium current, inward calcium current. This leads to increased force of contraction. And the other effect is activation of beta 1 receptors phosphorylates the troponin C, facilitating the calcium capture by sarcoplasmic reticulum, increasing the amount of calcium available for release by action potential. So these are the two effects which result by activation of beta 1 adrenoreceptors. Now let us discuss in detail. The beta 1 adrenoreceptors, they activate the adenyl cyclase, and this increases the level of cyclic AMP. The cyclic AMP activates protein kinase A, which phosphorylates the sites on the alpha 1 subunits of calcium channels, and this increases the probability of channel opening, increasing the inward calcium current and hence the force of contraction. The net effect of catecholamine action is to elevate and steepen the ventricular function curve. Now coming to the next effect, that is positive chronotropic effect, which is nothing but increase in heart rate. The catecholamines, they mainly increase the slope of pacemaker potential, and this in turn increases the heart rate or positive chronotropic effect. Now coming to increase in automaticity. How automaticity is increased? Increase in the calcium entry results in transient inward current, and this results in the increased automaticity by causing train of action potentials following a single stimuli. Now coming to the next effect, that is nothing but repolarization and restoration of function. Activation of beta-1 adrenoreceptors, it repolarizes the damaged or hypotonic myocardium by stimulating sodium-potassium pump, and this can restore the function if asystole has occurred following the myocardial infarction. Repolarization, which is caused by sympathetic nervous system, it can restore the function if asystole has occurred following a myocardial infarction. And for this purpose, adrenaline is one of the most important drugs used during cardiac arrest. Now coming to the next effect, that is reduction of cardiac efficiency. This has a negative effect. The sympathetic effect on the cardiovascular system is reduction of cardiac efficiency. Reduction in the cardiac efficiency means oxygen consumption is increased more than the cardiac work. The catecholamines, they increase the oxygen requirement by the myocardium, and thus they reduce the cardiac efficiency. And this is the reason why beta-1 agonists such as adrenaline and dobutamine are limited or not used for the circulatory shock. So the myocardial infarction activates the sympathetic nervous system, resulting in the increased oxygen need of the damaged myocardium. Now coming to the parasympathetic effects on the cardiovascular system. There are mainly two effects which are contributed by parasympathetic nervous system. They are, first one is cardiac slowing and reduced automaticity. The next one is inhibition of AV conduction. These two are the parasympathetic effects on the cardiovascular system. It mainly affects the rate and rhythm of the cardiac myocardium. Now, as we know that the parasympathetic effect is mainly governed by activation of muscarinic receptors, especially M2 muscarinic acetylcholine receptors. So the activation of M2 muscarinic acetylcholine receptors results in two functions. The first one is inhibition of opening of the L-type calcium channels, and the next one is they open the GIRK, which is nothing but a G protein activated invert rectifying potassium channels. Activation of M2 muscarinic receptors leads to inhibition of opening of L-type calcium channels, and they increase the probability of opening of potassium channels. These two are the effects, the parasympathetic effects. So now first coming to inhibition of L-type channels, L-type calcium channels. Activation of muscarinic receptors that are present in the nodal and the atrial tissue. This reduces the formation of cyclic AMP because the muscarinic receptors are negatively coupled to adenyl cyclase. They reduce the CAMP formation, and this inhibits the opening of L-type of calcium channels and reduces the slow invert calcium current. Now coming to opening of potassium channels. Activation of M2 muscarinic receptors, muscarinic acetylcholine receptors, they open the GIRK, which is nothing but G protein coupled invert rectifying potassium channel via the production of beta or gamma G protein subunits. The resulting increase in the potassium permeability. Because of the opening of the potassium channels, potassium permeability is increased, and the resulting increase in the potassium permeability produces a hyperpolarizing current that opposes the invert pacemaker current. And this action results in the slowing of the heart rate and automaticity. So by opening the potassium channels, muscarinic receptors, especially M2 acetylcholine muscarinic receptors, they result in slowing of the heart rate and automaticity. The next and the last one is vagal activity. We all know that the vagal nerve comes under parasympathetic nervous system, and the vagal activity is often increased during the myocardial infarction. And as a result of vagal efferent stimulation, the vagal activity is increased as a result of vagal efferent stimulation and as a side effect of opioids use to control the pain. And these effects are important in predisposing the arrhythmias. The vagal stimulation decreases the force of contraction of the atria along with marked shortening of the action potential. By vagal stimulation, the action potential is shortened in the atria, and increased potassium permeability and reduced calcium current. They both contribute to conduction block at AV node. Especially in the AV node, the propagation is dependent upon the calcium current. And the shortening of atrial action potential reduces the refractory period or the effective refractory period, which can lead to reentrant arrhythmias. So these are the various effects of the autonomous nervous system on the cardiovascular system. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmacology and other subjects.